All right. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Professor Tavares, and welcome to Diversity and Inclusion in the Workplace. In this video, I will give you an overview of the course. I'll introduce myself as your instructor on this journey, cover some expectations when it comes to participation and assignments, and lastly, review your first assignment for the course. So we'll be spending about 8 weeks together learning amazing material on diversity and broadening our knowledge on what it means for an organization to be inclusive. So in the past, there's been a significant focus on meeting the status quo. But in recent years, the field has gone from counting numbers to making numbers count. And so we'll be understanding and relating back to that metaphor throughout the 7 weeks that we're together. The main objective of this course is to look at a real life organization with the team and diagnose their diversity issues. All right. As a team, you'll come up with inclusive solutions that will enhance the organization's culture and climate. All right. So that gives you a big picture of the course. So here's a little bit about me as your instructor for the course. I'm an IO practitioner and a psychology professor. A fun fact, my educational background comes from UHeart, where I earned my undergrad and master's degree. I'm currently conducting my study in training evaluation, and I'm in the final stages of completing my doctoral degree at Capella University, which is also an online institution. So what does that mean for you? Well, I'm definitely familiar with the lay of the land when it comes to being a student at UHeart, right? And also understand going to school in an online environment. And I know, folks, it definitely has its pros and it has its definitely has its cons. But with clear expectations and communication, I have no doubt we will make the best of it. Okay. So, what can you expect from me? Well, I'll be your guide every week, helping you understand the course material and assignments. You can expect detailed videos and announcements with clear expectations and feedback. I currently live in sunny South Florida, and so I'm on Easter time. And so, in terms of expectations, when it comes to emails and response time, please allow 24 to 48 hours. I will get back to you. If something needs immediate attention, I don't mind being reached by cell. So please do not hesitate to text me with a quick question. I actually encourage it more than email because you can get to me faster, right? So I will be posting my cell phone number in one of our announcements that I'll be sending out shortly, okay? So please look out for that. Save my number. Anytime you reach out to me, just give me your name, what class, and I will be more than happy to respond to your question. Okay, so now that you know a little bit more about me, let's dive into the course a little bit more. And so as you see here, you have a screenshot of the course layout here. And I'll just like to run a couple things with you all. So the first thing you're going to see is orientation. And you're also going to see that all of the different units are laid out across the first page, which is your home page here, okay? So let's look really quickly at the orientation and what that looks like. All right, so the first thing you want to do is definitely check out the syllabus. It definitely gives you the lay of the land, right? What you should be expecting for the next 8 weeks. Again, you will be working in teams, so we'll talk a little bit more what that means, right? You are able to print out your syllabus here. And one of the most important things that you want to check out is the required materials. So notice that we have two texts for the course. The first is the Ferdman text. Yes, there are other authors here, but sometimes it takes a little bit longer to say everyone's name. So I do tend to refer to it as the Ferdman text. That will be your main text. And next, you'll see Laura's text, which is The Loudest Duck, Moving Beyond Diversity While Embracing Differences to Achieve Success at Work. So what I really enjoy about this book is that it gives you, again, that that idea of we're no longer just thinking about diversity and, again, counting those just counting those numbers, but actually making those numbers count. If you have a diverse group, that's great, but what's actually being accomplished within that group, right? And so she really dives deep into that thought process and that concept, and we'll be having a book club on it. And everyone will basically take a chapter and give a little summary of what they learned, and we'll go over that in just a little bit, okay? So the next thing you see here is your readings. So each week you have your readings laid out. And one of the most important things you guys are all probably concerned about is what are the assignments for the course, right? And of course, our due dates here. So notice that your first assignment, which is your introduction, is due on March 12th, okay? That's next week, today is Saturday. So you have a couple days to get that done, and the course room has been open since yesterday, okay? So we're going to review basically all of the first assignments that you all have just to get accustomed to it. And again, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. One of the ways, I know I talked about cell phone and texting, which is awesome, but one of the best ways to reach me, if you do prefer email, is not necessarily through my Hartford email, but through this inbox feature that you all see here. So I dive into the course room every single day. So if you send me a message on this inbox, you definitely will get a response from me quicker than my regular email at Hartford, because I'm diving into the courses here, okay? So that is another option. All right. So also, when it comes to the required materials, I did want to show you all really quickly that they are available in Amazon. So this is the Diversity at Work, the Ferdman text here, okay? And this is Amazon. And also the Loudest Duck is also available in Amazon as well. All right. Okay, great. All right, so if we go back home, you'll notice that you still have your path here. And one thing that I encourage you all to do, throughout this week while you're getting used to the course, is to check out all the assignments, because as I said, one of the main things that you'll be doing is working as a team to solve an organizational diversity issue. And so how I built the course is so that every assignment builds upon each other, right? So often in courses, we give an assignment and we just call it done. Well, we're always going to constantly refine our answers and analysis of what we're looking at, right? We're not just going to call it done at face value. We're really going to dig deep into this organization, and I will be challenging you with questions. And basically what I'm looking for in every assignment that you turn in is that you apply that feedback, right? And it just gets better and better until you reach your final. So you'll notice that each assignment definitely has, overlaps with the other and has something to do with each other, okay? They all build upon each other. And so you'll see the connection if you look at all of them. And I encourage that during the first week as you get to know your team and you're all trying to figure out how to work best with each other, okay? So we're going to look at Unit 1, right? And Unit 1 is Inclusion in Diverse Organizations through Systematic and Inclusive Framework, okay? So the first thing you're going to have, or you're going to see, is the unit overview. And you're going to see that we have always an introduction. Obviously, you have your assignments up here. Sorry, I skipped that. And you have your readings. So for this week, you have the Ferdman text, and it'll be chapter 1, okay? You don't have the Laura book just yet, and we'll talk about why in just a minute. You'll also have optional readings. So I try to provide some supplemental text so that you can understand the unit better, okay? So let's go ahead and look at introduction discussion. So for your first discussion, you're basically going to be introducing yourself, right? You're going to see that if you have any readings, you can definitely look to see if they're here first. And secondly, you'll see the actual question that you need to answer for your discussion. So I see that Wendy has responded. Great. All right, we already have some participation going on. Okay, so your first discussion is where are you from? Where are you located, right? Identify one aspect of your personal background. How does it impact how you see the world, and how does it shape how you are at work? Okay, very important question. Not sure if a lot of people ask themselves this question, but our personalities, our internal factors, external factors, right? We'll get into those type of things, really shape who we are both in our personal lives and at work. So I did start mentioning some internal factors and external factors. And what I'm referring to here is the aspects of cultural dimensions, okay? So what I want for you all to figure out is which aspects of the cultural dimensions define you most, and what aspects do you associate with most, right? And where you would find those is using the hyperlink over here where it says dimensions of diversity, right? So this is actually a PowerPoint that I put together, and you'll see, let me start it from the beginning, that we have different aspects, right? Different dimensions of diversity, one being our personality, right? Internal factors like race, gender, age, physical ability. Our external factors like income, religion, education, all of these things affect us, right? And finally, the organizational aspect of it, which some people don't look at. And that has a lot to do with what type of job do you have, right? How long you've been there, right? Are there any affiliations? So just take a look at the PowerPoint here. Every slide gives a bit more detail on each dimension, and it will really help you kind of reflect on which dimensions impact you most or you relate to most. Okay. All right. And lastly, it's always nice, not just nice, but it's always a good thing to acknowledge your strengths, right? We're all going to be working in teams, and you definitely want to start on the right foot and bring your strengths to the table. So start thinking about what you bring to the table and identify your top 3 unique strengths, and go ahead and post that. And I'll be checking them out. We'll be having some discussion, right? This is just the introduction. Okay. So now let's move on to the second assignment. So the second assignment is actually digging into chapter 1 from the Furman text, right? Your main text. And you're going to be basically answering these questions right here. The first one is, what is the difference between the terms diversity and inclusion, right? Because they both have different meanings. Why do you think inclusion is harder to achieve than diversity, right? Why do the authors, or what do the authors mean by a systematic and inclusive framework for organizations, right? Such a technical term. What does it all mean? And what levels of the systematic inclusive framework is most important when analyzing an organization? So let me see if I can pull up the framework really quickly. Okay, so this is a framework that I'm talking about, and that's on page 17. So you'll notice that there's different aspects of an organization, and they're all impacted differently when it comes to diversity and inclusion. And we'll be applying all of these levels in most of our discussions moving forward, right? So this is, again, like they mentioned, the framework. This is the foundation of what we're going to be discussing throughout the term, okay? All right. So then lastly, we have what is meant by the practice of inclusion is both comfort and discomfort, right? How can that possibly be? The practice of inclusion is about both comfort and discomfort. So again, we'll be engaging in conversation on what exactly does that mean. And of course, the Furman text does talk about it a little bit. All right. So I look forward to your responses. Now, the last assignment is just a quick shout out of what specific chapter will you be summarizing. So again, this is our book club segment, right? Each week we'll be covering a chapter. And so for this assignment, you'll select which chapter you will summarize for our book club, right? If there are more than 3 individuals that have selected the same chapter to summarize, select another chapter to summarize, okay? So we definitely need to spread the love when it comes to which chapters we're covering, so that each chapter actually gets covered, right? And as you see here, we are covering specifically 6 chapters within the book. So please below, just pick the one that you wish to summarize. And as we see here, Jennifer has picked Tell Your Grandma to Go Home. I love that chapter, Jennifer. So I am excited to see your summary. Okay. All right. So I've covered an overview of what the course will look like. Kind of went into some of the navigational features of the course room, so I hope that helped. You got to know a little bit more about me, but you definitely will get to know way more as the course goes on, because one of the things that I didn't mention is that diversity and inclusion is close to my heart when it comes to IO psychology. It was one of the first things that gravitated me towards the field. And then I got into emotional intelligence and then training, transfer, and evaluation overall. So diversity is the foundation of my IO career, and I'm eager and excited to share that all with you. All right. Again, if you have any questions, please reach out. If you got to the last minute of this video, please comment below and type that you saw the video and type in your favorite color. And if you do so, you'll earn 5 points, 5 additional points for your midterm. All right, so we're all starting a good footing. I hope that everyone gets to actually check out the video and gets all the way to the end. And I look forward to the semester. Have a great one, everyone.